What up, brawlers? It's been a minute. Welcome back to Throwin Hands. Breck and I spent a considerable time in the Shadow Realm. We saw Stipe Miocic. We saw a couple familiar faces. Stipe's packing up. He's ready to get out of there. Yeah, I mean, Breck, how you been, man?
Good, just chilling over here in New York. Like you said, we were in the realm. Daniel's deep in there. We couldn't even find him in there. That's how deep Daniel actually is in the realm. But pretty good.
We've heard rumblings that Daniel may come back, but that's to be determined. But before we get into this card here, these last 2 weeks of UFC have been pretty bad.
Dude, they've been like, and then like you see all the people on Twitter that are like, don't let people tell you this is a bad card. These people are casuals. It's like, no, I'm not a casual, but I recognize this is not the best of cards. It's like when I want to watch Bellator more than the UFC, it's like that's not good.
And Dern versus Rodriguez was not a great fight.
No.
There's some decent under fights, but Santos versus Walker was not that great.
That fight was terrible. That was one of that fight. I can't believe that Walker's corner saying you're up and like we're gonna point fight. What are you doing? This is Conor McGregor's trainer. Like get away from this guy.
I think let's touch on that for a second because I've been wanting to talk to you about this for a second actually because that just goes to show how great Conor McGregor was in his prime.
Right? People need to. You just made an excellent point. Conor's was so good that it didn't matter who his coaches really were in his prime. And I mean, you're seeing now he's fallen off because his coaches and his fighting it hasn't evolved.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, but let's get into the card. Let's get into the card. So I think we're back for a majority of the rest of the year because it's awesome.
It's so good.
We'll get to that in a minute, but we got to go over this card real quick.
Let's fly through this one because I want to talk about 267 and 268.
I mean, we're gonna preview and review them, but we'll touch on them.
Early tease.
All right, so we're all right. So first fight we're gonna talk about is Kamaru versus Jai Herbert. First time in a while for Kamaru. He's kind of fighting for his job here, coming off 2 losses. Throwing hands on him, by the way. Check out that interview. But Jai Herbert, he's a solid fighter. You can't really knock him for anything. What's your thoughts on this one, man?
Like you said, Kamaru. Is he fighting for his job though? I mean, he's 2-2 in the UFC.
That's true.
So he could lose and still be retained. But he does need a win here, coming off back-to-back losses, and knocked out right in his last 2. So you just hope that he can make it out of the first round. And if you look at most of his fight results, it seems to be it always ends in a finish. It looks like for the most part recently. You just hope that it's a good fight. And how's Jai Herbert's record recently?
He's 10-3, but he fought Renato Moicano, I think, in his last fight, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Renato Moicano, and he lost by submission. Renato Moicano is not an easy fight by any means.
No, that guy's pretty underrated. I feel like that guy always is in good fights, but
yeah, I mean, Herbert's probably fighting for his job because he also lost to Francisco Trinaldo.
Yeah, so I mean, 2 guys. It's a tough one to call. What do you think?
I'm going with my boy Kama. Got the opportunity to talk to the guy. I'm obviously very biased, but I think Kama can pull this one off. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's a more accurate striker and has a better ground game. So I think he'll be, since his last 2 losses, he'll have worked on a lot of stuff and hopefully can get the win for the Throwin Hands alum.
Yeah, and I think Kama's just got to not keep his head on a line. He's got to just stay moving because that's what's caught him. Mason Jones is fighting. I don't know if you have anything to say about Mason Jones. I'm not exactly too keen on the guy.
Second fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
2 fight nights, huh? Why was the second one a no contest?
I don't remember. I think it was pot or something.
Really?
Oh no,
So
could not continue. That's right. It was could not continue. I think so, yeah.
So he's really one loss in the UFC because
Yeah. Against Davis.
yeah. I mean, he's fighting Aiden. Is this Onana guy also new to the UFC?
Yeah, this is his debut.
His debut.
See what happens.
I mean, we don't have much.
Yeah, we don't have too much.
Guys.
Yeah, let's just move on to the next fight. Middleweight bout here: Jung Park versus Gregory Rodriguez. Rodriguez, former LFA champion, beating Josh Fremd back in August, if I'm not mistaken. Rodriguez is fun to watch, man. I don't know if you've seen him fight, and so is Yong Park. Interesting fight here. I would expect this to end in a finish. What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, like you said, you got to think one guy is going to get KO'd. Both guys are coming off wins, and Park's off a 3-fight win streak. This is a tough one to call, man. I kind of like Park, dude. He's got a 3-fight win streak. I mean, he's won 4 of his last 5 too, and he got caught in a submission. It looks like by Alexander Hernandez in 2019.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, people clown him for the cowboy stuff, but Alexander Hernandez is pretty good fighter. Yeah, I like Park.
I like Rodriguez, man. Josh Fremd is a bright middleweight prospect, and he knocked his head off.
True.
So
it should be a banger regardless.
It's going to be a banger. If it's not, I'll be disappointed. I'm taking Ike Villanueva in this one. I'm not really looking to go over this one too much.
Yeah, I mean, 12 losses, a little concerning.
Yeah,
but should be a good one.
But I can't pronounce that name. Nikolai. He's a bright young prospect, so he's going to bring the fight. So good experience for both for Nikolai. But anyway, these people are fighting for their dentures, man. 43 and 37 in the octagon. These guys are old, but it's going to be a decent fight, probably. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it should be. Was Trinaldo's last fight against he got knocked out. Didn't he get rear naked choked by one arm? Or no, am I thinking of the wrong guy?
He lost to Muslim Salikov.
Okay. I'm thinking of who's the other cowboy who's Brazilian?
France. I can't think of his name.
You know what I'm talking about? I get these two guys mixed up because they're both Brazilian.
Yeah.
And what's it called? But another Francisco Trinaldo also lost to Alexander Hernandez in 2019. This should be a good one. I mean, like you said, 2 older fighters. This is more of a Bellator fight than a UFC fight at this point. But,
these guys are competing for the title in Bellator.
You have to favor the younger guy, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Dwight Grant. I mean,
he's not that younger, but
he is the body snatcher, I guess. He did beat Sekulik. That's a decent prospect. So, and he did beat Alan Joban. So we'll see what happens.
To, Rodriguez. Is that the Rodriguez who beat up Kevin Lee?
Yeah. Speaking of Kevin Lee,
where does he fit into this?
He popped positive for Adderall. Did you hear about that?
Really,
yeah.
No, I didn't. So he's really trying to fix his cardio.
No, he actually does have adult ADHD, and he has like a certain type of depression that helps. So he took too much, and now he has been banged by USADA.
Really? For how long?
I don't know, but he might not be fitting in too much longer.
Hey, Bellator is ready.
But hey, speaking of fitting in, how the hell is Sam Alvey still on the roster?
I don't know. They cut Jimmy Rivera, who's like 23 and 5, and he's lost to like pull up Jimmy Rivera's last like 5 fights. He's lost to like killers. They
Yeah.
cut him, and they
Yeah.
keep Sam Alvey. I mean, I think he's kind of like Dana's boy. He's always he's just like a company man. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little ridiculous. And he's like been knocked out in how many straight fights?
I don't know. Yeah, so Jimmy Rivera has lost to Marlon Moraes, Aljamain Sterling, Piotr Jan, and Pedro Munoz.
And they cut him.
They cut him.
And they're keeping Sam Alvey.
Let's take a look at Sam Alvey real quick.
I think he's won like 1 fight in his last 10. What card is Sam Alvey on, by the way, coming up? 267?
He's going to face Ian Heinisch on February 5th. He's going to get killed.
Yeah, I mean, look, he has a draw. His last win was when?
Against John Vellante, who is now a heavyweight.
Yeah.
On June 1st, 2018.
Yeah, I mean.
Then he lost to Little Nog.
Little Nog.
Then he lost to Abreu, Ryan Spann.
You know that?
Draw with Da Jung. He lost to Julian Marquez and then Wellington Turman.
Do you know that Chael Sonnen once saw Little Nog and Big Nog try to feed a carrot to a bus? That happened.
It really happened. I don't know if you know that, but it happened. Anyway. Alex Caceres versus Sungwoo Choi. Alex Caceres has won 4 in a row, Breck. And Sungwoo Choi is coming off a win against Kevin Kroom. I don't know how you want to take a win against Kevin Kroom. I like Kevin. Good guy. But Alex Caceres is looking good as of late, and I expect it to continue.
Yeah, both guys on 3-fight win streaks. I mean, both guys are pretty damn good. I mean, Choi's last loss was to Tucker. Is that the Canadian, right? Gavin Tucker.
Yeah, Gavin Tucker.
He's a good fighter. That's a really tough one to call. I mean, I could see a split decision win for either one, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's tough. Man, that's tough. I would just favor Choi just because he's lost a lot less than Caceres. But
yeah, and believe it or not, Caceres has like 25 UFC fights.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he wins just enough to stick around, but looks like he's coming into himself. But I'm gonna take Alex Caceres by decision.
I'll go Choi decision.
Yeah, that's solid. Anyway, Jessica Rose Clark versus Joslyn Edwards. Joslyn Edwards started off 2021 with a bang in January, and she fought about 3 weeks later. She lost, but short notice. But now she's here. She has a head of camp, and she's fighting Jessica Rose Clark, a very bright Australian prospect, Mike. What's your thoughts on this one, man?
I like any Australian fighter, to be honest, for the most part.
Aussie.
They all seem to be pretty good. She did lose to Jessica I in 2019. Not a great loss, but I would have to favor the Australian. Is she out of city kickboxing or no?
I don't know. I'll check. Let me see real quick. I still can't believe they cut Jimmy Rivera, man.
It's criminal. Someone should be arrested. Because also Jimmy Rivera, like every fight he's in is pretty awesome. Like that Pedro Munoz fight was amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome. She's out of Combat Sports Academy.
Okay.
And she was at Syndicate up until 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Vince Morales about her. I got him on speed dial.
Just based off a little takedown average and stuff. She seems to use her wrestling a lot more, which I wonder, could play a big part in this one.
Yeah, Joslyn was taken to the ground in her last fight, if I'm not mistaken, a lot. So I'll be very intrigued to see what will happen with something like Jessica Rose Clark. I'm gonna take Rose Clark by decision. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think she'll use wrestling, like you said. Just keep going for the takedown.
For sure. All right. Co-main event, Grant Dawson versus Ricky Glenn. This is going to be a scrap. There's no question about it. What's your thoughts on this one?
Man, this Grant Dawson cat hasn't lost in forever.
He's good.
Hasn't lost since 2016. And he's undefeated if you count Dana White Contender Series. Since then, he's been undefeated. Man, this is a good. What division is this? Lightweight?
Yeah.
Man, he's a good prospect. Ricky Glenn, one second. I mean, he does also have a win over Gavin Tucker. Ricky.
Yeah.
He's got a few. Lost to Lance Palmer on the regional scene back in the day.
Interesting.
But yeah, just not seeing a lot of tape of these. You got to go with the younger guy. I know it's like a cliche, but like younger guys win in MMA, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And he's a very bright prospect. It looks like he could cut down to 45 if he wanted to.
Yeah, seems like it.
So we'll see what happens with him.
I'll go Dawson TKO.
Same, bro. All right, to the main event of the evening. This has been turned into a 195 catch weight, according to Breck Okamoto in his interview with his joint interview with Costa and Vettori. What's your thoughts on this one, man?
Oh, it's crazy, the news today. I mean, what was it, like at lunchtime today? Vettori was like, he's not making weight. So people were like, is the fight off? And Costa's like, we could do 185. And then, like you said, it just got announced they're doing the catch weight, which is, good for Vettori, gets some of Costa's purse. But I don't love that for Vettori. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Rather Paulo Costa being like killing himself to make weight and then fight you instead of being like 10 pounds heavier where he doesn't have to cut too much more weight. The power, man. I don't know how to feel about this fight. Like, my initial thought is like Costa. He's only lost to Adesanya. He's such a good fighter. But then you hear him talk today, and he's like, I've never even watched tape on Marvin Vettori. I don't even know how this guy fights. And they're fighting in like 3 days. So, like, what have you been doing?
Here's the thing. Some fighters don't watch tape. They have their coaches watch the tape. And then
I get that. But, like, it just – Costa was just odd today with some of his comments. I don't know how you felt. But you would think Vettori uses his wrestling a lot in this.
Yeah, but Costa has really good jiu-jitsu.
That's the thing. We haven't really seen a ton of it recently because it's been striking battles. But I think Costa's. I'm going with my initial thing, bro. I think Costa's going to TKO him. I think if it was at 185, I mean, obviously fight night they don't fight 185, but if they had to cut both to 185, you would say it's more fair of a fight. But I think that extra weight is going to help Costa.
I don't know with this one. I think Marvin Vettori is really, really good. I think people underestimate him.
He's really good, man. But I just never see him being a top guy after what he said like a week ago about the second Adesanya fight. I mean, he said he thought he won, which was absurd after getting like 50-45. And then last week he said he wasn't better. He was just smart. He wasn't better cardio, wasn't better with the skills. It's like, dude.
He was better.
he was better. He outstruck you. And the wrestling part, which you're supposed to be much better at him than, he stuffed like 80% of the takedowns?
Yeah.
So he was better.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I don't know.
To me, that mindset, like his corner, I don't know, man. To me, Paulo Costa is also a mess. I mean, like you said, this is the battle of low IQ in the UFC. But also Paulo Costa's corner, those guys are like the worst. They're those are like the biggest yes men ever.
I wish there was a presser for this one because I want to see Vettori and Costa yell at each other.
They would have to put subtitles. They couldn't understand it.
No, they couldn't.
And Vettori's like fully embraced like the full Italian, Tony Soprano look. He's got the tracksuits on all the time.
It's kind of funny.
He's getting insulted about, people making fun of Italians. It's, I don't know, man. This is so tough to call. What do you think?
I'm going to take Marvin Vettori by submission. Why the hell not?
Submission over the jiu-jitsu guy?
Why the hell not? Vettori has better wrestling.
That's true. I'm going Costa TKO. He's on the – you know how Colby always says that Usman's the CEO of EPO?
Yeah.
Incorrect. Paulo Costa is the god of EPO. Like, he's above the CEO. You know what I mean?
He's the fucking owner. Damn it, I have to edit. Great.
As just keep. Yeah, Costa, the extra weight. But I don't know.
I don't know either. It's gonna be fun to watch this fight. Costa weighs 212.
That's absurd. He's got to start fighting at 205. Has to.
He'd be a force at 205, I think.
He would. I think he'd be a top 5 guy like right away.
I don't know if you heard, but I think Logan Paul, I mean, he rolled with Costa, said that Costa walks around at 250.
Yeah, like between 240, 230 and 250. Absurd. Why is he 125?
I mean, that's what Darren Till does that. Like, but I miss prime Darren Till. Darren Till needs to get out of that camp. I don't want to spend too much time on Darren Till, but he needs to get out of that camp and come to America because he gets hurt every camp.
Yeah, come to America.
Yeah. All right. So, what were your thoughts on Bellator last week, man? Corey Anderson thinks he's the hot stuff right now, but he's not.
Yeah, I don't know how you could call yourself the best 205er in the world when the guy who is the best 205er right now. Well, the best 205er in the world is John Jones when he wants to be.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to be. So number 2 would be Blachowicz, who knocked out Corey Anderson. They are 1-1. You know what I mean? They did both beat each other. But it was a good card, man. I was so much more tuned into the Bellator card than the UFC card that night, with possibly one of the worst main events in a long time with Aspinall and Dumont. But also, we got to just quickly, the whole like outrage that Ladd's corner was like yelling at her. It's like, that's what you want from the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, like you watch some Teddy Atlas videos when he used to, back in his prime training days, he has some unbelievably motivational corner talks to his boxers when he's like, what are you doing here? Why are we here? You know what I mean? Like, it's what you want from a corner.
My thing is, I think there wasn't really too much constructive criticism in the corner, though. He was just asking, what are you doing? I'm like, add to it. I think I hate how people are like, oh, he's being hard. No, he's not being hard. He's being a good coach. Yeah. But he just needs to expound a little more on what he wants from his fighter. But I don't know, man.
So we got Corey Anderson versus Vadim Nemkov.
Dude, Nemkov's so good.
I want to see him in the UFC. I don't know if he'll ever get to the UFC just because, you know, that's like one of Bellator's biggest stars right now. But
Anglikas almost dropped him in the first round.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like he's really good, but even against who was his first round matchup? Phil Davis, right?
I think so.
Was it Phil Davis?
I'm looking it up right now.
I remember in that fight too, he got dropped 1 point, or
yeah, Phil Davis.
He was in a bad position in that fight too. So he's still really young. I think he's like 27.
He's 29.
29. He's got Fedor as a coach. I mean, you can't ask for a better coach.
Speaking of Fedor, he's fighting this weekend. It's like, how is this allowed? I mean, obviously the Russian commission will let we'll have him win.
We'll have him win probably. And he's also fighting like another 42-year-old. It's like it's hard with those Bellator fights sometimes, man. But it was a good card. Who jog my memory. Who was the other big fight of that night on the Bellator card?
It was Benson Henderson.
Oh, Benson Henderson. Right?
He's got to hang it up, man.
Yeah. What is he, 6-7 in Bellator?
Something like that.
Yeah, he's not the same anymore.
He got Brent Primus is really good, but he can't, man.
Yeah, prime Benson Henderson was a problem, but no longer in his prime.
Defended the lightweight strap 3 times.
Kind of was the first guy to do the calf kick too.
Yeah, legend. Absolute legend, man. Let's take a look at whom Corey Anderson has beaten in his last 3 fights. A 45-year-old Melvin Manhoof.
Yep.
Some dude we don't even know his name because he got put into the Grand Prix late. and Ryan Bader.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. He has looked good, but like you said, the level of competition has dropped. Although, what if Corey Anderson beats Nemkov and then, like, say in a theoretical matchup, fought Blachowicz again, I think it would be a good fight. But
yeah, I'd be game for that.
dude,
A cross promotion unification bout, dude.
They could never really do that, but I would just love a cross promotion like once a year, where all the champs fought each other. Wouldn't that be the greatest event of the year?
Oh yeah.
Imagine, Douglas.
Imagine Ngannou versus Ryan Bader.
Well, that would be. Yeah.
Or who's the lightweight champ now in Bellator?
Ooh,
Is it Pitbull?
It's Pitbull still, right? Because isn't AJ? I think AJ McKee might fight him again for the lightweight strap.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, that'd be so awesome.
Imagine Volkanovski, AJ McKee. That would be an amazing fight.
I don't know. I think Volk takes it. Though.
Oh yeah, for sure. But...
Oh, the lightweight strap's vacant. Has been vacant since October 6th. Who? What?
They must have stripped him. That's just how.
I don't know. But Amasov is Amasov's good. Musasi's the middleweight champion. I think that's hilarious.
He's good though, still.
Yeah. Sergio Pettis at bantamweight.
Yeah.
Dude, great prospects. But anyway, let's talk about the rest of the year in the UFC. Breck, you sent me this last week. These are fights coming up within the next 60 days. Well, about 50 as of now. But Costa Vettori, Usman Covington, Holloway Rodriguez, Jan Sandhagen, Masvidal Edwards, Oliveira Poirier, Chimaev Li Jingliang, Namajunas Zhang, Gaethje Chandler, Edgar Vera, Johnson Rodtang. Johnson kills him in the first round if it's MMA.
Yeah, for sure.
Aldo Font, Nunez Pena, murder that fight.
Murder.
Garbrandt France, Cruz Munoz.
You said Chimaev, right?
Yeah. O'Malley Paiva. Blachowicz Teixeira, Makachev Hooker.
Bobby Green, Raging, Al Iaquinta.
Dude, it's awesome.
Can't wait. Poirier, Oliveira, like you said, Edwards Masvidal has so much beef already. It's amazing.
What I gotta ask, man. We also got Ketlin Vieira versus Misha Tate on November 20th.
Dominic Cruz, Pedro Munoz.
We got Derek Lewis and Chris Daukaus to finish out the year. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, this is Font Aldo's. Dude, these are all bangers for main events for the rest of the year. This is awesome. I'm laughing.
We've had to endure some really bad cards over the last month and a half, but it's all going to be worth it at the end of the year.
Dude, what do you?
268 is going to be the best pay-per-view of all time. Maybe not numbers-wise, but maybe fights-wise. It might be the best pay-per-view of all time.
269's looking up, though, man.
It is. But the prelims alone for 268 are that could be a pay-per-view. Yeah.
We got Jeff Neal and Santiago Ponzinibbio. That'll be a fun fight.
Yeah.
This is all awesome. This is also awesome. What do you think about Covington Usman, man?
Dude, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good fight. I don't think Usman's going to knock him out like everybody thinks. I mean, maybe he will, but I think we're going to get into the fourth. I think we're going to get to championship rounds again.
I think it's going to be another great fight.
Dude, you could I watched back the first fight. You could really argue 3-1 Colby going into the fifth.
I mean, if Usman didn't fake the dick kick,
yeah,
it could be a different story. Covington could be champ.
Yeah, I mean, you could really. It's definitely 2-2 going into the fifth and the first, but you could argue 3-1 Colby.
Yeah, so, Marty fake newsman, man.
Marty from Nebraska. See, we have crapped on Ben Askren on this podcast, which is rightfully so, losing to Jake Paul. But Ben Askren, still the GOAT for his little backstage interaction with Marty when he's like, "That's my friend Marty from Nebraska. We used to wrestle." He's like, "I don't know you." He's like, Usman was like, "I don't know you. I've never met you." And it's like, dude, there's like documented like photos of you guys wrestling together. It's like he had him so triggered. It was so fun.
It stinks how Ben Askren's career has been marred because of recent events. But I think people need to take the time to realize that Ben Askren was amazing in his prime.
I know. In his prime, he was kind of Khabib, dude.
He was Habib.
Like he just take people down and submit them or beat the crap out of them.
When he beat Koroshev, when he got on his back and went USA. Yeah. Dude, he's such a troll. You know, I don't care that he got knocked out by Jake Paul, but I just loved how he humiliated him in the press conferences.
Yeah,
that's all I wanted.
Yeah, that's all we needed.
That's all we needed. Askren won in the end of the day. He humiliated Jake Paul, got on his nerves, and he got paid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. But what do you think of Blachowicz Teixeira, man? I mean, we're gonna get into that next week. That's next week. I'm so excited.
I think Teixeira's game, I think he'll have a little bit of a chance early in the fight when he's fresh. He's a veteran. He's been fighting real well, but the legendary Polish power is too much. So this only ends one way. A Jan KO.
Now, I don't want to jinx anything because I love Glover Teixeira. He's the nicest guy, professional as can be. But let's say, I mean, the dude's been in the shadow round at least umpteen times, you know?
Against Gustafsson.
Santos.
Yeah, it's like, I think we could actually see the same shot that Gustafsson got him with end the fight, like that uppercut. Because, I mean, Anthony Smith was doing well against him, and then Anthony Smith just pulled an Anthony Smith and, like, just, I don't know if he was hurt. I know he got his teeth literally knocked out, but Glover's he's had a really good run. I think he retires too if he loses, right? Don't you think?
He has to.
Yeah, I mean you're 40.
I think he retires if he wins.
If he wins, he might. Yeah, it's a good call. He might just try to defend the belt once.
Yeah, and think about this. Let's say I love to share. I don't want this to happen to him, but let's say he misses weight. We got Prohaska versus Blachowicz for the championship.
I mean, that's what we all want, but we don't need that. We need the buildup. We need to fight. They need to fight on the border of Poland and Czechoslovakia. That's what they need to do.
In the Czech Republic.
That's what they do. They need to fight like in the woods, and there's like they draw a line in the sand, and they fight, and they make an octagon in the woods. And Yuri, like they have Yuri's like walkout. He just comes out of a lake, like a cold lake. He comes out. And then
there's tiki torches. There's
tiki torches, bro. That's the fight we need.
What's Mike Beltran's the referee?
Yeah, of course, naturally. And then Blachowicz comes out with the rope.
Yeah.
The magical rope that he has got powers from. He's even said he's got powers from it. So yeah. He has that like around his neck walking out of like he comes down from the mountains.
Yeah. Slavic tribesmen are the only people in attendance.
Yeah, like really old school Slavic tribes. They have shields and swords and everything. This is the fight.
This is the fight we need.
This is the fight we need.
But in reality, they got to put it in a soccer stadium on the border.
Yeah, they do. They do because they would sell out like crazy. They're over there.
They just got to fill that. Joanna's got to fight in that card.
Yeah. Polish fighters. Jokto, right? That guy.
Who?
Jokto.
Yeah, right? Krzysztof Jotko.
Krzysztof Jotko have him on that card. I have a lot of Polish.
Just Eastern Europeans in general.
Yeah.
We gotta get Stipe on that card.
That would well, he would just like he would kind of blend in. They wouldn't understand it either, so it would work.
They go, yeah. What'd he say? But yeah, Stipe. What are some other Eastern European? Just dude, it'd be Rose Namajunas has to fight on that card too.
Dude, what about that? I can't remember the guy's name. I followed him on Instagram because I saw his fight, and he's like so entertaining. He's like a Mongolian fighter.
Dana?
And that might be it. He's on like a 7-fight win streak. He's a beast. He's like a welterweight, I think.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He fought recently too. I can't think of his name because it's like a Mongolian crazy like 40-letter name. Have that guy on there. That guy could come down and like Mongolian like drums. Like they could have drums as he walks up to the thing. It's like and like he's got like a shield and sword.
Breck, you and I have to organize a UFC event.
Dude, this would be amazing.
Dude, this is like what we want. Let's take a look at we got Jan Sandhagen. That's gonna be fun, bro. Dude, the replacement fights on 267 are far better than the ones that were originally there.
Yeah.
You got Makhachev and Hooker.
And as far as I'm concerned, like the Jan Sandhagen fight is for the belt. That's the real belt.
That's the real belt.
It's the real belt.
Oh, speaking of Aljo, did you see that he was hard sparring last week?
Yeah, I'm confused. He like he's the doctor won't clear him, but he's like sparring. I'm a little confused.
And he was fighting. Wasn't he like sparring with Pedro Munoz or something?
No, he was sparring with
Was it Jimmy?
Adrian Yanez.
Oh, dude, that dude hits hard.
I know. It's like you have a neck thing and you're like take some time off or something. You know, like
exactly. Volkov and Tabura. That's a fun fight. Volkov and Tabura would have to fight on the card in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Uzdemir and Ankalaev, that's a fun fight.
Mm-hmm.
And Hebus and Janjaroba are the feature prelim.
Ankalaev is moving up, right, to heavyweight?
I don't.
Or no, that's Kutaleva is moving up, I think.
Kutaleva is moving down to middleweight.
Down to middleweight. Okay.
As we wrap it up here, dude, Holloway Rodriguez, man.
I love the fight. I mean,
people are overlooking Rodriguez, man. I mean, I love Holloway, but the people are really overlooking Rodriguez, man.
They are. It's just like, how does Rodriguez really win? He's not going to outstrike. Maybe. But then Volkanovski couldn't beat him with kicks, and that's the best in the world right now. So
yeah, but Rodriguez is a different animal when it comes to kicks than Alexander Volkanovski.
I don't know. Max Holloway just builds up the pressure and everybody crumbles.
All right. As we wrap this up, two things. Does John Jones fight in the UFC again? I say yes.
I mean, should he?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I think he will, though.
Yes, though, because he's a big draw.
And what's the one fight you're looking forward to before the end of the year the most?
I mean, is there any other answer than Kobe Usman too?
No, or I mean, Charlie Olive's Poirier could be a banger. I hope
it could be, but like, there's just so much built up like history between these two. It's
gonna be fun.
Like, who's like another great rivalry of yesteryear? Like
Jones Cormier.
Like that's the level of heat these two have.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun.
We haven't seen heat like that since Jones Cormier.
No.
Like actually detest each other.
It's gonna be fun, man. People are overlooking Covington. I'm sick and tired. Look, you can hate the guy. I don't like the guy. He's a terrible human being.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's confirmed, basically. But hell of a fighter.
I don't get how he's not pound for pound top 15.
Yeah, I don't know. Top 15 is weird.
Let's take a look at that pound for pound real quick. I know I said we're gonna leave, but I want to take.
One more thing. I got to shout out the Long Island native of the last 2 years, Merab Dalashvili.
Merab.
Last name, dude. That guy was dead.
Yes, he was
dead. Did you see that still photo of what's his name? Who did he fight? I'm drawing a blank.
Moraes.
Did you see that still photo of Moraes like about to pounce on him, and Merab is like his eyes are in the back of his head, and he's like on his back?
I think I did see that.
Dude, he was dead. Like he was actually dead. And all of a sudden, he just got up, started running to the other side of he was sprinting to the other side, like, get me away from this guy.
Yeah.
And then somehow beat him in the second round. That was one of the best fights I've seen.
That was awesome. And dude, that was like getting to Shevchenko Cachoeira levels of domination.
Yeah.
Anyway, pound for pound, yeah. Gaethje's still up there. I understand that. Gane's up there. Jan's up there. Whitaker's up there still. But they need
like Whitaker Adesanya is going to happen in January, along with Brunson
Gane.
And Brunson Cannonier. So
yes.
the winners will fight each other. I like how they set those up, sometimes where you have like same night type thing.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's very exciting, man. All right, that'll do it for us here, Breck. You got any last words?
Peace out. Have a good one, people.
Yeah, peace out, guys. We'll see you soon.